What's up, people? What's up? Welcome back to the Boom Boom Room. I'm your host, Ron Slay. Dug in the bag and had to get a special guest. Fortunate to be able to get him on. Got in the bag and there was an anchor in the way. So I pulled the anchor out and just so happened to be on the end of the anchor was my partner. 08 SEC Player of the Year. All-American, had a great journey, ended up being a great journey going through college, and we'll let him describe how that journey was from him growing up in Louisiana, getting to Nashville, what that transition was like, and how he came to become who he is today. You know, and it's all about the journey, man, and that's what we get right here in the Boom Boom Room each week, Every 2 weeks, I try to bring you a special guest and somebody that you may be familiar with and some that you might not be familiar with and let them speak on their journey. And this is another guest that I've been fortunate enough to bring to you. So I'm going to play his video and then we'll bring him in. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, when I first met him, I remember we were playing Summer League pickup at Vandy. And I'm like, man, who is this dude, this little skinny kid, man? Keep on shooting all these deep threes, man. He ain't earned the stripes yet or nothing. And lo and behold, man, it was Shan Foster who go on and set records. But we'll get to that later, man. And here he is right here. Shan Foster, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you coming in.
Man, I'm good, man. Appreciate you having me on, man. It's good to see you as always.
No doubt. Family well during the pandemic? Everybody good?
Man, everybody maintaining, man. You know, this hitting everybody a little different. I tell people all the time, man, we experiencing the same storm, but we all in different boats, you know what I'm saying? And we got to maintain, we got to check on each other, you know, and make sure everybody good, man. So everything's copacetic over here, man.
That is, man. So, Shane, let's just hop straight into it, man. Talk about you coming from the boot. You coming from the boot, you come to, especially at this time, country Nashville at that time. You know what I mean? It wasn't developed as it was, you know, it was still bubbling, but we were country, and it is what it is. But let's talk about you growing up in the boot, man. Give me some of your inspirations with you growing up.
Well, it's interesting you call Nashville country, man, because I was actually born in Laurel, Mississippi. I got roots in Mississippi. My family's in Mississippi, you know what I'm saying? And left Mississippi, went to Slidell, Louisiana. And then from there, ended up in New Orleans and spent about 10 to 11 years in New Orleans, man. And this was during the time when New Orleans was the murder capital of the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? People getting killed left, right for crazy stuff. Step on somebody's shoes, they pull it out of piece, you know what I'm saying? And it was about survival, you know? That's what it was, man. And luckily for me, you know, I came from humble beginnings. I had a family that was study preaching church and character and, you know, integrity, respect, you know what I'm saying? So I was the kid, I was called the church boy growing up, you know what I'm saying? Everything for me was church. It was all day, every day. I was president of the youth department, you know what I'm saying? I was playing the piano in the church. I was speaking out place, you know what I'm saying? But I fell in love with basketball really at a young age when I was living with my grandparents. You know what I'm saying? I was 5 years old watching Michael Jordan. So when The Last Dance came out a couple of months ago, I was all in that thing. You know? I fell in love with the game, you know, sitting outside. My grandpa, he built a basket for me. You know what I'm saying? Because he was laying brick and building houses and stuff. So he built a basketball goal for me. And I was out there mimicking Mike, mimicking Scotty, you know, Tony Kukoc, you know what I'm saying? Everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's where I built my love for the game. And then as I matriculated through middle school and high school, I was just always taller than everybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they on the block and I just turn around and shoot. You know what I'm saying? Middle school, we ended up going undefeated, winning the championship and getting recruited to different, you know, private schools and that thing. But I was never no private school kid. Like I said, my folk country. And then we went in New Orleans in the low key hood. You know what I mean? So ain't no private school dude, you know?
Right.
I ended up being my boy Micah, one of my best friends to this day. We decided to go to Bonneville High School. That's right outside of New Orleans in Kenner. You know what I'm saying? And keep it home, man, and make some things there. And it was an incredible journey. Like I said, I was playing center, so I had to learn how to be a guard. That didn't come to later on. You know what I'm saying? But I was fortunate enough, even though I was in the hood and around everything that was going on in New Orleans, for the most part, people saw me as somebody having an opportunity.
Right.
You know, that when the drugs was going on, when the killing was going on, they was like, yo, Shan, you need to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? You need to go somewhere else. You need to stay tight right here. You know what I mean? And that's just always been the case for me. So while I was around it and I saw it all the time, I was also very sheltered away from it. You know what I'm saying? Gave me, if those kind of things don't happen, man, ain't no telling where I'd be.
Right.
You know, hey, man, you know, it's important. It takes a village to raise a kid. And I certainly had a village around me, man. And so I ended up, you know, doing well in high school and getting my butt kicked a little bit. Right. You know what I'm saying? The time I got my butt kicked, I got back up, you know what I'm saying, and stayed with it. And I had some guys, man. There was some guys at Xavier University in New Orleans, which is a NAIA school, you know. And I was going up there during the summertime, during the school year, hooping with those guys. Right. What people don't know, man, that NAIA ball, man, it's no joke. The boys get after it.
Yeah. You know? Them some hungry guys, man.
Yeah, you know, they should be playing ball somewhere, man. And so I'm up there, and I remember, I'll never forget this, man. I was up there, and I went an entire summer, didn't score a basket. You know what I'm saying? Puts this on here. I don't know if you know what that felt like. Yeah. To be up there single day for
not
2.5 months playing pickup and don't score a basket.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy, man.
Right.
But back to my high school, though, couldn't nobody touch me. It was easy. You know? So every single year from my freshman year on, you know what I'm saying, I averaged a higher level of points. Right. You know what I'm saying? I added stuff to my game. I got better. You know what I'm saying? And really, high school was easy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so that was my upbringing, man. Church, basketball, you know what I'm saying? And it took a community to help me get it.
Man, no doubt about that, man. So with those people influencing you and you growing into your own, and like you said, you grew up loving basketball, watching Mike. Once you got to high school, you improved each year. So let's go into your junior, going into your senior year, the end of your junior year, going into your senior year. Now, you know, the recruiting really starts and really picks up. You had a slew of colleges where you could have picked from. In Power 5 conferences, you ended up going to SEC conference. But you had some big-time names. Kansas was on the radar. Other schools were on the radar. Tell me about that recruiting process and how you kept a level head, if you did keep a level head, and didn't let that blow you up. But talk about that recruiting process and what your feelings were going into that.
Man, the recruiting process was amazing, man. I all the time, man. Everybody should get treated like a great athlete at least once in their life. Right. It's amazing. You know what I'm saying? To have people, you know, you're getting a lot of free stuff. You're traveling all over the world. You know what I'm saying? People just feeding into you. They want you to feel good, want you to come to their program. You know, they know the kind of difference you can make. You know what I'm saying? You got coaches, especially when we think about SEC, growing up in New Orleans, man. You got a lot of my teachers and administrators who watch, you know, college basketball, college football. So when these schools are coming and they sit in our gym every day watching me hoop, you know what I'm saying? To meet with teachers, like it was a starstruck moment for them. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I was the type of person to where I realized that it was bigger than me. You know what I'm saying? I realized early on, man, that by me being successful, that there were experiences that I could pass on to other people that they wouldn't necessarily get otherwise. Exactly. But I was making sure when folks came to see me, hey, man, stop in there. I know this teacher. She love you. You know what I'm saying? She love your program. Stop in there and say hey to her. You going to make her day. You know what I'm saying? Like, stop. and that a lot of people don't think about, but you know, to me it matters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Friendships have for life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people, they still follow me on social media and stuff now. They're proud of the work that I put in and what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And they stay in touch because of those moments.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And really selfish about it. You know what I'm saying? But really, man, I remember I'll go back even to my sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
The first ABCD camp. First time I met Bob Gibbons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they players, you know, and they got 400 players that they didn't rank, and I was number 397.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Went from killing middle school, now we got rankings coming out, and I'm 397 out of 400.
Yeah, they pulling it back. Hold on, big guy.
You know what I'm saying? It was really a gut check. You know what I mean? I remember like telling my coach at the time, I was like, yo, man, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. Like, 397 ain't cool, man.
Right.
And he was like, if I didn't believe that you could be here, I wouldn't have brought you here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I brought you here so that you could see the different work ethic, so you could see, you know what I'm saying, what else is out there. So now you got something else to strive for. I expect you to be in a different spot next year when you come back. Right. So all summer long, I got this vision in my head. I'm no longer playing against people in New Orleans. I'm thinking I'm playing against somebody in Tennessee.
It's bigger than this. Yeah.
In California.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Mm-hmm. And I have no idea what they work ethic like.
Right.
All I got to be better than them.
Right.
And so my goal went to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? In high school, I'm literally in the gym before class. I'm in school all day. During my gym class, I'm working out. During PE, I'm working out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working out. You know what I'm saying? I'm practicing with my team, and then I'm leaving there, going to Xavier University to get this work in with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'm getting 5 workouts a day because I'm like, yo, ain't nobody in New York going to be sitting on me, you know what I'm saying, when we get back to ABC.
Grinding.
Period.
Grinding, you know?
Yeah. So we get back my junior year, the summer after my junior year, you know what I'm saying? And I go out there, I do my thing, and all of a sudden, I'm the number 9 small forward in the country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's work.
Yeah.
I had to put that, give it to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I started at 397.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had earned everything else. Made the All-Star team out there. You know what I'm saying? Would have made McDonald's. I was 1 or 2 players away from that. You know what I'm saying? But it was an incredible journey, but it was a lot of freaking work, man. People ask me all the time, like, you know, when did you have time to be a kid?
Right.
I wasn't concerned about being a kid.
Exactly.
You know? I saw this now. Now I got an opportunity to get out of here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was the hardest kid on the block. I wasn't making straight A's in school.
Mm-hmm.
None of this. I didn't see people that was entrepreneurs.
Right.
You know, folks that was out here getting it in other ways. So I saw basketball as my way out. Basketball gonna get me to college. College gonna get me to the league.
Yeah.
After that, I figured out.
Let me just get to this point. You know what I mean? And that's big time. I like the energy you bringing in it, and that right there for the people that have never had the opportunity to see you play or to see you speak. This is who you get on the camera, off the camera, on the court, off the court at all times. A very emotional guy self-driven like yourself, man, and I can speak for that. So before we get into your recruiting process and back into that and tell me how that went, talk about that, man, that hunger for more. You know what I mean? To go from 397 to being the top 10 small forward in the country, getting ready to go into your senior year. Like, what drives that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know your background of the men in your life, laying brick, you know what I mean? Being in the church, having your faith strong. But tell me, man, personally, when you laying in the bed at night, what's your thought process as a kid going through this, knowing that, man, I got to do whatever I got to do to get out? What was that like being in Shan Foster's foot?
Man, honestly, man, I got 6 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got brothers. I got 4 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And every single day, they looking up to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I can't let them down.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, I let them know what's possible out here. That's who I am as a big brother. I gotta let them know, you know what I'm saying, that no matter what they go through, it don't matter where they start, that there's somewhere that they can finish.
Right.
Where they, whatever it is, whatever goal they want to do, whatever they want to accomplish, that is possible. You know what I'm saying? One thing for somebody to tell you that, it's another thing for somebody to walk through that thing and show you how to do it.
There you go.
And so I was constantly thinking, I got to show them how to get out of New Orleans, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I had a brother and a sister that was in New Orleans with me, and then in Mississippi, I had another brother and 3 sisters. I'm like, yo, I gotta show them how to get out.
Right.
You know, I gotta make it so that they can look back and say, you know what, I can make it too.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And I also looked at, you know, my home life situation. Like my mom worked 2 jobs while going to school at the same time and taking care of us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a serious work ethic, but that's also a serious sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? My mom out here skipping meals so that we can have stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, this can't be all that there is to life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I started playing ball and got around some other coaches, got around some other players who had seen more than I had seen at that time, and they gave me a little bit of a glimpse of what that looked like.
Right.
I was like, I gotta, you know what I'm saying?
I need that.
Then they work out with Jonathan Bender.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In high school, Jonathan Bender played for the Indiana Pacers, but he's from Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm going up against him, and he's like, yo, going back to the crib, come hang out. I go to his crib over in Eastover, he's killing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
$1 million mansion, got people coming in and out, they're eating what they want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Dropping what they want. You know what I'm saying? This didn't match nothing that I seen from my family. So I'm like, I gotta get there. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta show my people that this is possible, man.
Right.
And then what I also saw in my own neighborhood was a lot of people who had a very lackadaisical work ethic, man. Mm-hmm. It was like we got dreams, we talk about getting to the league, but our lifestyle don't match our aspirations.
There you go.
And I'm like, you're not gonna get there like that. Michael Jordan didn't get where he at just because his name Michael Jordan.
Right.
You know, he had to work, he had to put in the work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was just a grind for me, man. Failure was not an option.
Yeah.
Once I saw the light at the end of the tunnel and said, you know what, I can get a scholarship, I can possibly make it to the league. Mm-hmm. It was like, I ain't stopping until I get there.
Right.
Period.
Right. I love it. And that's facts. I think everybody that went along in this journey and the people that I've got the opportunity to interview, man, all fall in line with that same hunger. You know what I mean? That belly starving, you know what I mean? And I mean literally and figuratively, both starving. From Shamika Holtzclaw to you, to John Henderson, to Ramon, everybody was going along that same path, man. And I think that's something that these kids should hear, you know what I mean? And parents should also hear, you know what I mean? As adults, we want better for our family and our kids. So it's a fine line you have to walk where you're not spoiling too much. You're trying to keep that hunger in them at the same time. And then you got social media, that aspect coming into it. That wasn't around as strong when we were coming up. So now we're getting ready to go in your senior year, and you talk about spreading the light, you know, during your recruiting process, you know what I mean, making a person's day. What about for Shan Foster? Came down, give me your top 3 schools that you were picking from and how you went about picking Vanderbilt over the other schools that were in line for you.
So for me, man, it was Vandy, it was Georgetown, it was Kansas. Mm-hmm. You know? And I went on my visit to Georgetown first. Then I went to Vandy, and I was scheduled to go to Kansas the next week.
Right.
And for me, man, it was about a hometown feel. I didn't want to stay close enough to home to where people could just pop up.
Right.
You know, get some space. Like I needed to get out of New Orleans. I needed to get away from Louisiana because I knew that there was more to life, but I hadn't seen it yet. Mm-hmm. You know, traveled a little bit in high school, went to Vegas, played a tournament, went to Bob Gibbons, went to ABCD. You know what I'm saying? We driving to the court. You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing what all is happening around me, but I'm like, there's more to life. You know what I'm saying? So LSU wasn't an option for me. Right. I took them out of respect to the state. You know what I'm saying? But that wasn't even an option for me.
Right.
But when at Kansas and the number of guys that were getting to the league from there, that being my goal, that was intriguing. When I looked at Georgetown, obviously a long history of players, you know what I'm saying, coming out of that school. Plus, it's a great academic school out there in the D.C. area.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right.
Amazing campus. My boy from Slidell, you know what I'm saying, DJ Owens, he is going to school there. So that was all good. But then when I got to Vandy, man, number one, to get a chance to play in the SEC, the best conference there is. Mm-hmm. And not only basketball, but football. I mean, just the best conference there is. Man.
Right.
It's second to none. But then to be able to, the thing that Vanderbilt offered me that no other school in a Power 5 conference could really offer me was the ability to make a name for myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what Coach Stollers was talking about. That's what Jeff was talking about when I went on my visit. It was like, yeah, you can go to these other schools and you're gonna be compared to Allen Iverson. You're gonna be compared, you know what I'm saying, to all these other great players, like Danny Manning,
right?
Cat, you know what I'm saying, Omar Swift down there in LSU and Shaq. Vanderbilt, you got a chance for everybody else to be compared to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, my whole story is about work.
Yeah.
You know, ain't nobody gave me nothing. Ain't nobody been comparing me to nobody thus far. That was intriguing to me. You know, I can go there and write my own script. He ain't gonna promise me nothing. He ain't promised me no playing time. He ain't throwing me no money. You know what I'm saying? A lot of other schools was throwing all of that.
Right.
You know, there was a level from my faith background. There was a level of integrity at Vanderbilt. Not to mention, and this was something that was extremely important to me, man. My dad was valedictorian of his high school class.
Say that, Dan.
I told you my mom was getting a doctorate degree while she was struggling to take care of 2 kids. So education was more important to them than it was to me. But the thing that was critical for me, man, my dad was the number 2 player coming out of Mississippi when he came out of high school, signed with Alabama.
Okay.
He had teared both his ACLs, you know what I'm saying, transferred to USM, and never got a chance to play basketball at an extremely high level because of it. I couldn't afford for my success to solely be contingent on me making it to the NBA. Right. Because you can't control whether or not you get hurt.
Without a doubt. That's how you control.
I can control going and get this paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I can control the ability to work, you know what I'm saying, to where I'm cool. Whether I make it to the league or not, I'm going to be able to survive at a level that's much greater than anybody I can think of.
Yeah.
And that's what Vanderbilt offered me. The best of both worlds.
Yeah.
So I can excel on the basketball court, and if that don't work out, I'm still good financially. I'm still good professionally.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it boiled down to for me.
Let me ask you this. Going into it, because you're doing a lot of forward thinking at this moment. I think you got, and you see this out of kids today, but a lot of them play it out, but they don't live it out. You feel what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So this was forward thinking. Did you know coming into it the connections that were, this would be equivalent to USC in LA, where you were going to, Vanderbilt, going in Nashville, Tennessee, independent school, in the SEC, Power 5 conference, but the connections that are made, man, you walk in the campus coming into it, you could be going to class with a senator, could be the next president, definitely Fortune 500 company owners and CEOs at the time. Did you foresee that in the future also in knowing that was going to be your pick?
Man, I didn't know that until campus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I had never heard of Vanderbilt.
Right.
I've been watching SEC basketball all the time. I'd never heard of Vanderbilt.
Right.
You know?
Right.
With sending me letters, you know, I'll never forget this, man. One of the assistant coaches came to me at a tournament in Houston. Had just played against Monte Ellis and who I can't remember the other guy's name. Monte Ellis on the team. And I gave them 40 of them. That was overtime. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking out. Coach Jeff, I can't remember the last name. He was there from Vanderbilt. He said, "Have you heard of Vanderbilt? You been getting our letters?" I said, "Nah, man, I ain't heard of no Vanderbilt."
You just being honest. No, I ain't heard of y'all, homie. Yeah.
Listen, man. Monte Ellis and another dude who was on that 400 list thought it.
Yeah.
Heard of Vanderbilt, I'm probably not coming. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
This is been real.
But,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But my dad had actually played against Vanderbilt in the NIT tournament. You know what I'm saying? He was playing ball. And he knew the academic side of it with Vandy. He was like, yo, I don't care if you don't get an official visit, at least take an unofficial.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll do this for you. You know what I'm saying? So I took an unofficial visit to Vandy, drove up there whole 9 yards, and I get on campus. I'm looking at Maseratis. I'm looking at Rovers. You know what I'm saying? One kid literally flew in on a helicopter. Pops. You know, and was sitting there eating next to us.
Right.
You know? about some, I'm gonna give you some lunch, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take this helicopter ride back. Ain't nobody going to school talking about this.
No, sir.
You kidding me?
No, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm on my visit and I'm talking to the coach, I'm talking to the guys, and they're like, yeah, like this is normal. Like this ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like this is every day. This ain't just because you here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
they didn't, this is not no prop that this ain't no script or anything. This is real life right here. Yeah.
None of that. And they're like, yo, you come back on an official visit, then we'll roll out a red
We'll show you what it's really doing. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
So I'm like, I gotta go see what it's like. So there's no lie. You can go ask anybody at Vandy, they tell you. When I went back for my official visit, I brought my mom, my dad, my grandma, my grandpa. Y'all gotta come see this.
Yeah, they live different up here.
This is different. This is completely different. It's great. Then, not only that, man, it just felt like home.
Right.
You know, like New Orleans is a spot, man, where ain't nobody no superstar.
Right.
You all what you doing? You like you come and get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? You good, baby? What's up?
Yeah.
What's up? You all right?
Yeah.
Can I do for you what you need? You know what I mean? Like that's home.
Right.
Right? When I got here, it was the same kind of feel. From the coaching staff, first person I met, David Williams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's been a mentor of mine. He's passed away now, but he's been a mentor of mine since day one.
Right.
Kate was the athletic director right now. She was there when I came on my visit. You know what I'm saying? These folks treated me like family.
Right.
You know, from Jump Street.
Right.
Not to David had roots in Mississippi too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my grandma was sitting there chopping it up.
Right.
Talking about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was just home, man.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You put all that other stuff with it, man. It was just a no-brainer for me.
Man, so organic connection, man. That's beautiful, man. And this is stuff that I didn't know, man. I know you fairly well, you know what I mean? And I had no idea about this, you know what I mean? Because I was coming out when you were going in. So it was that's interesting to know, man. That really happened organically, man. And I expect I took an unofficial visit also to Vanderbilt, and the love was crazy, you know what I mean? Sam Howard and James Strong were the guys that they put me with. So I had a ball, you know what I mean? It was really close, but the academics, man, I was just like, nah, this ain't, especially at that time when I was at Pearl Cone. Maybe it would have been a little different when I went to Oak Hill Academy by having the academics, you know what I mean, boosted up, you know what I mean, by really concentrating on the work, but that's neither here nor there. Grab with my good decision, but you chose Vanderbilt. You come into it. Talk about getting on campus, because you got on campus early. You came on up in the summer. I remember playing pickup, and that's when viewers, you in the Boom Boom Room, first of all, with Ron Slade, my special guest, Shan Foster, but the viewers, if you don't know and never been, especially at this time, to our pickup runs in the summer, there's no other pickup run like this. Like, I'm going to give props to everybody. LA, Chicago, New York, DC. I done been to DC and played pickup. Listen, man, it wasn't nothing popping like it was popping at Vanderbilt University Memorial Gymnasium. Man, I'm willing to put it on the line against everybody, man. Against everybody. And this young man came up there that summer. You subject to have the likes of Joe Johnson coming there. You got Ron Mercer, you got Dante, you got Korat, like Junior Burrow. The list goes. It's nothing but pros. And then you got the trickling down to about 10 to 15 college guys. You know what I mean? And then maybe, if they lucky, 1 or 2 high school guys that can jump in the fold. But maybe a Jamont Gordon or something. But other than that, you're not finding that. You know what I mean? So you step into Vanderbilt campus that summer. What was your mindset after you had already committed? You there on campus. What's your mindset coming into the SEC?
Man, I was really there to learn, man.
Right.
I mean, you hit the nail on the head, man. When we got to the summer ball, it was some pros in there, you know what I'm saying? And I was just trying to learn. I was trying to learn from you. I was trying to learn from Ronnie Mack. I was trying to learn, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to learn all that's possible. Because, again, I'm going from playing center to not having to play guard in this SEC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I needed to learn all the tricks. I need all the old man tricks, all the love, all the pro tricks. I need everything. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Not to mention, when you killed in high school, you get a certain type of swag about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you come in feeling like, you know what I mean, I'm supposed to, you know what I'm saying, do my thing. And then you get out there with everybody else who also killed in high school. Then it's like, all right, how do I get to the top of that, right? But at every stage, you know what I'm saying, the competition gets better. You know what I'm saying? The work ethic has to get better too. You know what I'm saying? Because now everybody's faster, stronger, jump high. You know what I'm saying? And now people are perfecting their craft. And this is no longer, you know, somebody who's just athletically advanced over everybody. Everybody athletic. Everybody athletic and pro. You know what I'm saying? So now, how do you perfect your craft? You know what I'm saying? And so I came in looking to learn from everybody, and I also came in looking to figure out how my work ethic needed to change so that I could have the same level of success as I had in high school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How every single year I progressed in my career, and I ended up in a place that was killing the game.
Yeah.
I wanted to have that same experience in Nashville and Vanderbilt, but it started with me learning. And a lot of people don't know this. The first 8 or 9 games of the season, my freshman year, I sat the bench.
Right.
I played 2 to 3 minutes a game. When we was up by 20 and down by 20. And we had to tell about it. I'll sit down.
Yeah.
Practice, but the coach was like, yo, I'm not giving you a spot. You got to go take it.
Right.
And luckily I had some coaches who were also in my ear like, yo, you still the dude. You still our guy. You just learned enough yet.
Right.
Stay at it, keep watching film, keep grinding, keep working. You're going to get there. We need you to get there a lot faster. You know what I mean? But you're still the guy. You know what I'm saying? But we not give it to you.
Right.
And unfortunately, we live in a world right now where a lot of these kids, man, are being given and spoon-fed so much that it waters down their work. You know, they can't operate outside of being handy something.
Right.
You know? So I literally had to go beat my teammates out of spots.
Yeah.
You know? And then what happened was once I got the spot, now my mentality was I'll never ride the bench again.
Yeah.
And on top of that, because I know I just came in and took somebody's spot, I'd be damn unless somebody come in and
because somebody wants yours. That's what you better know. Yeah.
That's got to be but that mentality don't happen if I just gave you something.
Right.
You know, that comes from you having to earn your stripes, man. From you having to learn, from you having to really put in the extra work.
Yeah.
You know, but that was my freshman year, man. But once I got that starting spot and started figuring out my niche, you know what I'm saying, figuring out spacing, figuring out, you know what I'm saying, how to handle the ball against pressure, you know what I'm saying, how to come off screens, my time, where to use my energy, where I can kind of chill and preserve energy. Right. All of these things are learning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to direct film yourself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So and then self-correct on the court. You know what I'm saying? Right. Playing that mid-game. And on top of that, I'm at Vanderbilt. Them classes wasn't no joke. Yeah. And so everybody in the chat, you know what I'm saying, that went to a different school where your athletes ain't had to go to class. Yeah. That's not Vanderbilt.
Come on, Shane. Speak facts, baby. Speak facts, baby. Speak facts.
8 a.m., I'm in class. Okay, I scored 32, #1 team in the country. I'm in class the next morning, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of the grind too. But I think a part of the advantage that I got was on the basketball court, you couldn't outsmart me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So where I lack is some athleticism. You know what I'm saying? My mental, my basketball IQ made up for a lot of that. You know what I'm saying? But and I became a student of the game. Which is why now, as an adult, I'm able to do, you know, a whole host of things still connected to the game. You know what I'm saying? Because of that. Because I studied the game of basketball. You're not going to outthink me when it comes to basketball. You're just not. Right. You know, all of that I had to come in and learn from older guys. You know what I'm saying? And pulling people to the side. Hey, man, let's talk about this. I know you're killing it over here overseas. I know you're doing this in the league. You know what I'm saying? Tell me about this situation. How do I use screens? How do I set screens? How do I position myself? You know what I'm saying? How do you break down film? Asking those questions and being humble enough to do so. Right. You know, look at the kids got the chip on the shoulder. They're like, you can't tell me nothing. You ain't gonna learn that either. Right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be humble enough to go sit down and sit up under somebody. Right. You know what I'm saying? Walker, one of my mentors, he always said, you only understand that what you stand under. You can't stand under nobody, your understanding is going to stop.
There you go. There you go. That's huge right there. And before we go any further, you went on to average 10 points your freshman year. You know what I mean? I was fortunate enough coming off the bench to do the exact same thing. But while you're doing this, like you're speaking on learning, you know what I mean? And the thing I love and I want kids to hone in on is him tapping into the resources that are around him at the time. I think some kids, like you said, man, you hitting so many, first of all, you're hitting so many points. Shane, it's crazy. But like we could keep a conversation going and we ain't got to make it to your junior and senior year or nothing. You know what I mean? The points you hit. But as far as these kids today, man, I just want guys to understand the resources that are around you. Tap into them. You know what I mean? Don't be that guy, like he said, once you stop understanding, it's over. You know what I mean? You can't further yourself. So start to learn, man. Understand, tap into them resources, the people that walk those shoes that are around you that you have near you that other people don't. You know what I'm saying? You took that advantage. You got pros that you can sit down and talk with after hooping and see what it's like. You go through the season. You see what it's like. You got coaches in your ear, this, that, and the other. But what I want to know is, what was the difference? Because I remember you and Dane Bradshaw came in at the same time. He came at the University of Tennessee. I just interviewed him. And in his story, he was talking about, I came back home and we was an SEC game. I think it was versus Arkansas or Georgia. And I come in the locker room and I'm telling him, hey, man, ADB, that ain't it up here, man. That ain't it, dog. This ain't Winthrop or none of them other schools. And no offense to them, but this ain't the schools we playing, man. This is the SEC, dog. All that little loose handle, they going the other way. You're going to be there at 10. So talk to me about the difference in that pre-conference schedule. And then once you get in the SEC play, it's something different that clicks. And you got to be ready for it. Because we are similar to in Nashville, like the private schools, we're in a football league. You know what I mean? Like we lifting weights. I know we were doing workouts with the football team when we were lifting weights. So SEC is a physical league. Talk about the transition from that preseason schedule and then going into SEC play as a freshman. What was that like? You know what I mean? What lights cut on for you then?
Man, for me, it's the difference between somebody playing against me my freshman year versus playing against me as a senior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between, preseason and SEC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my freshman year, I averaged 10 points a game. My senior year, you was liable to get 40 on a bad night.
Yeah.
Like, there's a huge difference. So in the preseason, you play. I mean, you playing some of everybody. Every now and then, coaches gonna get, you're gonna get a ranked team, a top 25 team. The better your team is, the more TV games you guys are getting. Your non-conference schedule can be a little tougher. Fortunate enough for me, for my junior and my senior year, we played the most ranked teams in the country both years. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. A lot of it had to do with the SEC, but a lot of it had to do with our non-conference schedule because it had to prepare us for the SEC. You know what I'm saying? But once the lights come on, man, once January hit, ain't no turning back, man. It turned back. It ain't no soft. Ain't no nothing. Ogilvy, one of my guys, and I love AJ. He came my senior year, man, and played well. But I will never forget, my man, he was averaging 20, I was averaging 20. Yeah. Going to SEC play. We got into SEC, my man dropped all the way down to 13 points a game. No. I had the same conversation with him that you had with Dave Bradshaw. Yeah. Hey, man. This ain't Australia.
This different right here, baby. This different.
Don't disrespect none of them. But you're going to have to man up in here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to come with it up in here. They're going to put a bowl in your forehead.
Facts.
And this is what it is, right? You got to hit back. Facts. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. This is basketball. This is a physical sport.
Exactly.
You know, yeah, you can't get here crying for no calls.
Yeah.
None of, I will tell you this, though. I was prepared for the SEC because of what you talked about earlier in the summer league.
There you go.
Us playing ball in Nashville and going up against guys.
There you go.
And there's a guy, I'm going to tell you like this, and I know you know him, Cheese.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Me and Cheese used to play one-on-one every single day.
Yeah.
You know? Wouldn't call no foul.
None.
Beat me up. But you see when I got to the SEC though?
Yeah.
Five.
Yeah, you going through that.
To the free throw line, you're going to get dunked on and give you a straight ball.
There you go.
It's the same thing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, man, it's just different. People don't relish the opportunity to learn, to grow, you know what I'm saying, and to put in the work, man. And you know, the SEC ain't, you know, it ain't for the faint of heart, man.
Right.
And you got guys, never forget this, man. Anthony Robinson gave me 30.
Yeah.
At Vanderbilt.
That's my guy, Lil Roll.
And at Florida. My first year.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, I mean, I wasn't a terrible defender.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for somebody to give you 30 twice,
that's different. Yeah.
It's a different type of dog. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, Say. Talk that talk, man.
They're not playing with you. They're trying to tear your mouth out as SEC, man.
Right.
You know, they smell blood. They're
Yes,
going to keep
do.
that foot on the gas until that whistle blow, man. It just is what it is.
Yes, they do.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to get that in that non-conference schedule.
No.
But you getting that every night in the SEC.
Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? When guys that like Ronnie Brewer that played in Arkansas,
yeah,
that dude had them clamps, man.
Yeah.
Like it ain't no just a good defender, you know, trying to cherry pick and all that. No, he locking you up.
Yeah.
Call whoever you want to call, go get your sandwich. It ain't nothing happening up there, man.
Yes, sir. I love that, man, because I try to explain this to people, man, that wasn't fortunate enough to play in the SEC. Man, listen, man. Shane just hit it on the head, man. Like when I say hard nose, night in, night out, I'm talking about from the bottom to the top, man. From the Kentucky all the way, whoever was at the bottom that year, man. Like, you better bring your hard hat because they coming for you. You know what I mean? And by that time, the difference is the tape is out. Like when he was speaking with from his teammate, and Shane was talking about earlier, adding stuff to his game. The tape is out by then. You got about 16 to 18 games where they can go and they know all your tendencies. SEC play call, you better be ready to switch it up. You better have a counter to go to, or you just better be flat out, they can't stop this, and your confidence sky high. You know what I mean? And that's what I saw in you. I remember that, man, coming from that summer league, man. I'm telling you, that summer pickup, I was like, hey, man, dude ain't tripping, man. He got it open. He letting it fly. And there was plenty of times I used to ask ATA, man, come on, man. Why y'all keep on picking young fella, man? Young fella out here just letting it fly, man. Like, he don't got no regards to who on his team or nothing. He was like, nah, man, he going to be all right. He going to be all right. He going to be all right. And now I see it. I got to see it later on in the summer. Like, them same shots he was taking early and missing, he knocking them down. We only going to 7. You know what I mean? He get 2 of them. That's 4. We on our way. You know what I mean? So it was cool, man. So I saw that build up. You go from average of 10, and then you 15, damn near 16, really, at both of them years, sophomore, junior year. But talk about for a second, because we're going to get him on, talk about the addition of Derek Byers. Because your junior year, which I didn't have the opportunity to have my junior year, I tore my ACL. You come into your junior year, and you get to see the SEC player right before your eyes. SEC player of the year right before your eyes. You see the work ethic. You continuing to work hard. Your team going on a hell of a run. You know what I mean? Nothing compared to your senior year, but a hell of a run. Talk a little bit about when y'all acquired Derek Byers on y'all team at Vanderbilt in your journey and what that meant to you being able to see this man, the dude I wake up every day with, go work with, go grind with. He go get SEC player of the year. I know it's in my grasp. Going back to like when you setting the tone for your siblings. They see you go off and go to college and everything. It's in their grasp. You see it right here every day when you wake up. Talk about that junior year right there for me.
Man, up until my junior year, getting to the league was a dream.
Right.
When I saw Derek get SEC Player of the Year, get drafted, that's when I knew it was possible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it's literally within my reach. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Derek, man, Derek, my brother, he can always be my brother. You know what I'm saying? And being able to go up against him, a true pro, every single day in practice.
Right.
You know, Derek made me better. Derek made me a pro. You know what I'm saying? Because being able to go up against that every day, having a different, he had a different gear to kick it in. You know what I'm saying? Like Derek can play team ball, run he plays. Derek will tear your mouth out, man.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
Derek will call somebody, hey, man, come guard him.
Yeah.
Hey, God, come guard him, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also be humble. So being able to see that every day, you know what I'm saying, only made me better. And our thing all year was we got to combine for 40.
Right.
Period.
Right.
I don't care. Get it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who leads.
Yeah.
We got
to go get 40 combined. Yeah.
40, you know what I'm saying? And we ended up, you know what I'm saying, beating the number 1 team in the country, Florida, that year, who had won back-to-back championships. You know what I'm saying? We beat Georgetown. We beat some dogs that year. Mm-hmm. Most ranked in the country. Ended up going to the Sweet 16. You know what I'm saying? Phenomenal games. But to see Derek get SEC Player of the Year, man, it really it allowed me to actually make that a goal in the next year.
Right.
So I went into my senior year like I'm SEC Player of the Year, hands down, period, point blank. That's all there is to it.
Right. Gotcha. So talk about that junior year. Y'all had a great run, getting ready to go into your senior year. What's the feeling like being able to make the NCAA tournament?
Oh, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's especially when you ain't did it every year. This wasn't the norm.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
First it's so in that NIT.
Yeah.
They're not invited. I mean,
right.
So going into the senior year, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the junior year, man, we knew we had the possibilities, you know what I'm saying, with the team that we had. And it was just like, once we made it to that tournament, man, I mean, how sweet it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it raises your profile. You're playing on national television. Everybody in the country watching. You getting side messages from everybody. I mean, it's an amazing thing. You get instead of just getting the SEC gifts, you getting the NCAA gifts.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just another level.
And them gifts different. Them gifts a little bit different.
They're a little different. You know what I mean? Then you got the NBA scouts that's there every game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because now you ranked in the country. You know what I'm saying? Now you getting this TV time. You know what I'm saying? So now we have practice.
Right.
And the Bulls, you know what I'm saying? The Lakers or the Magic, they all in the stands watching us practice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because we got an SEC Player of the Year on the team. We buzzing. We done beat these number 1 teams in the country. We kill it. Now they there. Now they watching. You know what I'm saying? So it just let us all know, man, that our dreams were actually reachable and attainable and within our grasp, man. But we had to continue to work. Obviously, you know, Jeff Green traveled. We ain't going to talk about that, though. We ain't going to speak on it.
Hey,
you know?
I wasn't going to bring it up, but we're in the boom boom room, people. We are in the boom boom room, man. And that's a fact. And that's a fact, man. I'm going to be honest. Like, listen, people. You're in the boom boom room with your host, Ron Slay, man. We about to get real, man. You know what I mean? I got my special guest, Shan Foster, Vanderbilt Commodore, man. You won't hear me say it too many other times unless it's associated with my guy. You understand? So, hey, man, if that doesn't happen, Shane, and there's a lot of stuff I replay in my mind from my college years, if that doesn't happen, where do you all go? Because you all were talented enough, had the guy enough to step up in the moments, the coach to come up with game plans for anybody in the nation. I'm gonna be honest. Like people give Kevin Stallings, Coach Stallings a hard time, man. But I'm gonna be honest, man. Dude will, hey man, he kind of like Frank Vogel. He'll come up with some schemes, but you better be a dog to get through them schemes. You know what I mean? So yeah, you got that, man. If what's supposed to be called is called, man, how far do y'all go?
Oh, man, I think at a minimum we'd have been in the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Because Georgetown went on to beat the next team and ended up losing, I think, North Carolina that year, man. Yep. I think, you know, at the end of the day, man, in that tournament, man, anything's possible.
Anything can happen.
You got some dogs on every single team,
yes,
you know what I mean? And you got guys that just because of the moment, they raise their level of play.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody's playing their best basketball, man. And it's a joy. It's what you grow up dreaming about.
You
know what I'm saying? In those kind of moments.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But boy, I tell you, boy, when that man traveled, dog, I was guarding him. You know what I'm saying? And you, Slay, you know,
I know it.
you know what I'm saying? You got somebody locked up. You know they can't go nowhere.
Facts.
You know the time on the clock.
Facts.
I'm thinking on the game.
Yeah.
This game over. We going to Elite 8, baby. We in there.
Yes,
you know what I'm
sir.
saying? And I don't hear no whistle.
Yeah.
I don't hear no whistle. I'm like, 10 minutes didn't happen.
Yeah.
He spent all that thing, made that shot, man. No whistle, they win the game, and it's over.
Right.
Probably cost me a couple $1 million.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
We done got to that Elite 8. Me and Derek were leaving school. I was gone.
Question.
I tell you, I was gone. No question, I was gone.
Without question.
Everybody out there, I love Vandy. My senior year was the best ever. Let me tell you something. They calling that travel Shan Foster.
Hey, that's facts, man. That's all facts, man. Hey, that's what you're in the boom boom room. Ron Slay, man, special guest Shan Foster, man. Hey, we just chopping it up, talking about his journey. You know, we done made it all the way through his junior year, coming from the boot, roots in Mississippi, traveled to the boot, you know what I mean, what inspired them, who influenced them. Let's go into the senior year, man. How serious this was, man. Like, all of your obstacles that you went through to get to this, ABCD camp, you know what I mean, being the oldest of 6, watching people struggle, you know what I mean, you coming from the murder capital of the world at the time, you know what I mean, roots planted in Mississippi, yeah. All this a culmination coming to this senior year. And if you were able to watch Shane play, you saw the emotion, not necessarily during the game, but at the end of the games. You can always catch my guy, damn near emotional wreck, you know what I mean? Giving it all up to the Most High, without question. Hugging his teammates, hugging his parents, anybody that came to the game to watch him and spread the love. You know what I mean? And the thing I loved, it wasn't always about him. You know what I mean? It was always spreading to teammates and everything. So let's go through this senior year, man. Y'all face some top-notch teams, man. Especially going into SEC play. You know, it hurt me in my heart, man. And I always was cheering for my boy, but hurt me in my heart, man, when they did my boys, when they did the Vols, the way they did the Vols, man. But guess what I kept saying the whole time? I grew up in Nashville. I know what Memorial Magic is about. Now, it's something that gets into the players, sometimes the refs. Now, this is what we're going to come at odds. Sometimes the refs, but I ain't even here to pick no bones. I'm just saying. But, man, that gym offers some special moments, man. And you had some special moments in there. So let's talk about that senior season, man, and leading up to it. What was your mindset going into that senior season? Because y'all lost and you came back. And tell me about that senior season leading up. And then we'll dive into SEC play.
Man, there was a couple of things that was important to me, man. Number one, we had to get back to the tournament. Mm-hmm. I don't care what else happens. We got to get back to
once you taste it, ain't nothing like it.
Ain't nothing like it. Yeah. We got to get back to the tournament. And I got to be SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Derek do it. My man, Derek got SEC Player of the Year, but he was also co-Player of the Year with Chris Lofton from UT. You know what I mean? I wanted it unanimously. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I wanted that ethic to speak for itself, man. And so I went into that summer, dude, I shut everybody out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't basketball, if it wasn't, you know what I'm saying, preparing, I went to New York and trained out there for a little bit, with Chicago, trained out there with some pros for a little bit, man. And I got after it, dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And from a classroom standpoint, that everything was solid. So I going into basketball season, I had one class. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I was in that gym, dude. Yeah. You know, all day, every day, putting up thousands of shots a day. This had to be clockwork. I had to make sure if I could see the basket, it was a bucket. Yeah. Period. Yeah. I don't care that. If I saw the basket, it's a bucket. Yeah. Period. I had to be able to count on that. Right. You know, and being a student of the game, man, I understood that this is the number of threes I'm going to get a game. These are the number of driving opportunities I'm going to get. This is the number of free throws. I need to average 20 a game. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Some games I'm gonna hit more threes than others, but I gotta make up for that. I gotta defend. I gotta get this many fast breaks. I got, you know what I'm saying? Like I was breaking that thing down. This is what needs to happen, and I gotta be in the best shape of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I already know. I got the type of drive and dog mentality. Somebody get to kill it, I'm gonna be like, yo, coach, I'm getting on him.
Yeah, I got him. Yeah.
We shutting this down, you know what I mean? Like me and my mom used to do like this. You see me doing like this. Picture of it. That means it's time to lock up.
Yeah.
I don't care what else is going on, it stops right here. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so I had to make sure that I was in the best shape of my life to be able to go and put that out there like that. You know what I mean? So I was in ice tub every single day, taking care of his body. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like all of that became of the utmost importance because now seeing Derek get drafted, right, I'm right there at my dream. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right there at the dream, and I get 1 year. There is no redos. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When you get to the draft, you'll never get a chance to get drafted again. Exactly. Ever. Yep. Right. Yep. So I got the last year, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be my resume. To show improvement. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, man, my family, dude, traveling 8.5 hours, you know what I'm saying, to come and watch me play, traveling out of town and all that kind of stuff. They love me, but, man, they sacrifice so much. Right. You know what I'm saying? From a childhood all the way up to now, man, and I just wanted to be able to tell them thank you with my play. Right. You know what I mean? Right. Right. And that's big time, man. So you see your values coming into it. And I tell people all the time, like when they ask me, man, how did you win SEC Player of the Year? You know what I mean? And it was that same grind. You know, man, I had it mapped out. You know what I mean? Plus, I'm coming off an injury. I had how I was going to average 20 points. I ended up averaging 21.2. But I had how I was going to average 20 points a game. Regardless of win, lose, or draw, this you can count on every single night. Now, some of them nights, you're going to get 38, 50, 40, whatever it might be. You're going to get that. But you got to average 20. So that was very similar in regards to what you said, man. And I think kids need to know that, man. Goals being written down is still productive to what you're trying to get. It's a fact. You're talking to two guys that did it. 2 different levels, you know what I mean? 2 different schools, both did it. And both stories end up with this right here. Their senior year doing it this way. So let's talk about going into SEC play, Shane. Man, you had a run. This run that you had was similar, very similar to Kimball Walker's, but you sustained it for the whole SEC season. This is the funny thing, like, and then you capped it, and we'll get to that at the end. You capped it with the overtime victory against Mississippi State, which was, Lord have mercy, boy. You went on. I want to know what you were thinking the night before that game. Like, I got to know. You know what I mean? And the viewers need to know this. But before we even get there, y'all played Kentucky earlier that year, if I'm not mistaken, and lost. No, we didn't lose Kentucky.
Y'all won y'all senior year.
We beat them twice.
Beat them twice. But first game was what, by 3 or something similar to that?
Yep, at Kentucky.
At Kentucky. Which people, our viewers, I know we got some Kentucky fans on here. Listen, man, one of the hardest play, I'm going to ask them at the end, man. One of the hardest places to play for me wasn't Kentucky, but it was Kentucky in a sense because y'all used to pump that artificial noise in there. You know, I know them older people were not up there making all that noise, so I know y'all were pumping artificial noise just like they're doing in the NBA bubble right now. But that's neither here nor there. They went up there and won. After that victory versus Kentucky, saying, y'all come back, man, in Memorial Gymnasium, and the thing y'all did to them, man. Talk about leading up to that victory in Memorial Gymnasium, man, because they've never felt that again in their career, which y'all did, and hadn't felt it to that point. All the national championship teams, all the great teams at Vanderbilt, all the great shooters, whatever it was, your team, your senior year, the thing y'all did to Vanderbilt, y'all gave them the worst loss in Kentucky's history. Yeah. Talk about leading up to that game, Shane.
Man, you know what? The sense of team that we had that year, man, was just otherworldly. You know what I'm saying? Like you talked about Kevin being able to be a mastermind, you know, putting us in position to be successful, coming up with the game plan. We had a level of confidence, particularly in Memorial Gym.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't matter who we were playing. You were going to lose.
Right.
It didn't matter how the game went. You were going to lose. We went undefeated at home my senior year.
16 and
You know what I'm saying? And my junior and my senior year, we sold out every single home game.
It's tough.
So now I'm playing in front of a packed, standing room only crowd every single night to the extent that where I'm showing up to the game for pregame workouts and there's a line wrapped around the gym. You know what I'm saying? In the snow.
That's a different feeling.
You know what I'm saying? Like
that's a different feeling.
While I'm in there getting my pregame shots up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just different, man.
Mm-hmm.
So leading up to that game against Kentucky, this is gonna be my last time playing. This our senior class, our last time playing against Kentucky. You know what I'm saying? Unless we end up playing them in the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So like, y'all gotta feel this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this our last chat. Y'all gotta feel it. And they talk a lot of noise.
Right. Yes, they do.
They don't just come play and then go and leave the gym.
No, they
talk.
talking. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like they talk that big boy, make you get a tech. Talk that big boy. I mean, so, you know, yeah, we beat them by 41.
41. Hey man.
Sure did.
Walking off that court, Shane, what was that feeling like, man? Knowing you just and this wasn't just a down year Kentucky team. This was a ranked Kentucky team.
They were good, man. I mean, it was surreal, man. I mean, but it was a team effort. Like
right.
I only had like 20, 23 that game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I ain't about that killing.
Right.
But everybody was hitting. Everybody was hitting. And we had them on them clamps.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't go nowhere. They couldn't do nothing. We was a step ahead of them. And that's just how we were, man. That year was just a special year, man.
Yeah.
We were so together as a team, sacrificing for each other. Nobody cared who got the credit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was all about team.
Right.
You know? And it was a fun year I had playing basketball.
And I watched that, man. I think it was 92-51, if I ain't mistaken. But golly, I never expected that, man. I'll be real. So you get that. That's a feather in your cap. And this is how I'm gonna show you guys. You in the boom room. I'm your host. I get a little somber when I gotta talk about this, you know what I mean? But it gotta be talked about. My boys come into Memorial. They rolling high. So tell me about, man, when y'all getting ready to match up against UT, man. What was the talk going into this, man?
Listen, we was all, the whole squad was glued to the TV when y'all played Memphis.
Right. Biggest game in the nation at the time.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And it's probably, I'm gonna be honest, Slade. This was the first time in my life I cheered for UT.
Yeah.
I wanted y'all to win that game so bad.
Right.
I wanted to come to Memorial being the number one team in the country.
You
know what I mean?
You got it.
And y'all went in there, and I mean, Chris was shooting lights out. He was letting that thing
yes,
go.
He was.
And they're like, let's go, Chris. Let's go, boy. Shoot that. Come on, Juwan, shoot that thing.
Yeah.
Wait, in there. Hey, man, don't go. Let's go.
Yeah.
I was hyped. And let me tell you, when y'all came to Memorial, knowing, and literally, I'm getting to the gym for shoot around. 4.5 hours before the game, there's a line wrapped around Memorial Gym.
Yeah.
There's no feeling like I'm hyped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't get so high.
Yeah.
The game's on CBS. Nationally televised game. I don't know if you can find somebody without who anybody else was on the court. I was out there like Steph. I was shooting half court shots. I was so hot. And I was talking about stroking.
Yeah.
I knew it was going. I gave y'all 32.
Yeah, yes you did. Yes you did.
We won the game, but it was at home, standing room only crowd, Memorial Magic going crazy. You know, but we was that was a special year, man. It was a special year for us, man, and we relished it. We lived in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be honest though, like when you experience playing at that high of a level consistently, a lot of work is mentally not feeding into what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was a lot of mental work on my behalf, just being like, yo, stay level headed.
Right.
Stay
right.
Keep your same routine. You know what I'm saying? Don't be running, tricking off. Don't be running, do all that. Stay in the moment. It's hard to do.
It is. It's very hard to do.
You know what I'm saying? When your boys from the hood, like, hey, man, y'all beat Kentucky.
Let's go get it.
Y'all number one team. Hey, you going to the league. Let's go, baby. We number one pick. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like,
that's facts.
That's real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, and since my freshman year, everybody on campus knew me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like I was just, it wasn't New Orleans where ain't no superstar. Like, I was Shan Foster in Nashville.
Oh, without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everywhere I had a billboard in the city. You know, like, it was just crazy.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay focused in the midst of all of that was the biggest challenge, man.
And guess what, man? That win right there, I remember being overseas at the time, and I caught so much grief. Like, man, I had to go to practice the next day. They're like, man, what happened to the balls? What happened to the balls? I'm like, hey, man, come on, dog. Nobody want to hear this mess right now. What's up? So that made me, that drove me to be better in practice that day because I took all my frustration out on them. You know what I mean? But, hey, man, that was a hell of a game. So let's fast forward, going towards the end of the season. It's really, at this point, it's a two-man race between you and Jamont Gordon at this time for SEC Player of the Year. This was on your bucket list at the beginning of the year. Just so happened y'all playing them in Memorial Gym. It's kind of laid out favorably if you take advantage of the opportunity that's put before you. Y'all go to overtime. You end up with 42. Shane, I've seen you go unconscious before. Like, and I was telling a partner, man, when we was playing the preseason tournament versus Kyle Hines and them, before Kyle had really got the recognition, he was building his resume up now, you know what I mean, to where he is today. But I remember you taking it coast to coast going, no, he got a bucket. And one, you came back down and got the rebound with coast to coast, banged on him, got an and one, you know what I mean? And was unconscious that game. I saw that face to face. I saw that personally. Other than that, this game, dude, you was in another time zone. Not just focus, but you in a whole different stratosphere, man. Talk about going into that Mississippi State game, man, and dropping them 42. And that probably more than likely won you the SEC Player of the Year, without a doubt. And a unanimous SEC Player of the Year. Not no split. Like, I ended up splitting. A lot of people don't know I split with Keith Bogans because Kentucky went undefeated that season, so they had to get somebody on Kentucky the team. But, you know what I mean? But talk about that, man, getting the AP and the coaches SEC Player of the Year. But before that, talk about that Mississippi State game leading into that.
Man, you know, I remember going into that game, and my pregame ritual was always after we eat our pregame meal, I go back to the room, I watch YouTube videos of Michael Jordan from, you know, whenever, playoff games, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I put on, I'd have that on with no music, and I have gospel music playing in the background as I took a nap before the game. Mm-hmm. And I remember praying before I took my nap, God, just let me show my family and these fans how much I appreciate them for taking me in for 4 years.
Right.
Like let my play say thank you. I'm not gonna be able to talk to everybody. I'm not gonna be able to reach everybody. But let the way that I show up tonight say thank you.
Right.
You know, and the YouTube video don't show the 0 for 6 that I was in that first half.
I'm glad you touched on that. So the reason I say, man, this is a culmination of everything Shane has been through leading up to this point. This man was 0 for 6 in the first half of this game. This is silly. Yep. This is silly to talk about, man. But this is one of the top leading scorers in the SEC this year, in the nation. You know what I mean? Prolific scorer. 0 for 6, man. But we condensing this into one game. You know what I'm saying? And 0 for 6 in that game, you come out in the second half. What transpires?
So, Red Gordon, Alex Gordon, AG's great, my guy, looked at me in the locker room and was like, hey, man, you don't stop making shots, we ain't going to win. Straight up.
Point blank. Point blank.
Like, hey, my family here just like your family here, man. You can't go out like this.
Right.
We seniors. It's senior night, man. We can't go out like this. You know? Red was the guy that always held me accountable. You know what I'm saying? Right. Not just from the standpoint of keeping you out of trouble and making sure you're doing the right thing, but holding me accountable for showing up great every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, dude, we work out together, we done live together, we done made sure that we've prepared for this moment. Every single game, I need you to go be great. I don't need you to be average. I need you to go be you.
Right.
Be great. You know what I'm saying? So in that moment, he was challenging me to go be who I am. You know what I mean? And I responded. I came out in the second half, man, and I was like, I just need to see one go in.
Yeah.
If I can see one go in this basket, it's gonna be on and popping from there. You can probably see in the video when I made that first one, you see me doing like this.
Yeah, it's on.
It's on. You know what I'm saying?
I got me one. Yeah.
That is on. You know what I mean? And from there, man, it was just this drive and determination that we cannot lose this game.
Right.
You know? And we were down by 12 at halftime, and we never led that game until I hit the 3 to win it in overtime. We literally were not winning the entire game. So every shot that I made, we needed every single one of them.
Yeah.
And Rick Stansberry was over there. It was flipping back and forth between a zone defense and a man-to-man and a matchup back to the zone. You know what I'm saying? And trying to make sure that I was catching the ball further and further out.
Right.
Which they needed that, but I was unconscious, man. I was like, yo, we're not losing this game. Period. We're not losing this game. You know what I'm saying? So we had the little oop play that we ran against the zone.
Yep.
Where you see ducking that thing in the background. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it was whether it was, dribble handoffs, trying to come on screens, guys pump faking, waiting for me to get a little bit of space and just rising up. But I prepared for this all summer long.
Right.
You know, like I talked about me and Cheese in there playing one-on-one all summertime. You know what I'm saying? Ron Mercer coming back, you know what I'm saying, bullying me in the summertime. Like this, like you said, this is a culmination of the process.
Right.
You know, if I don't have that kind of a process, if I don't go an entire summer without scoring a basket, then I don't know that I can bounce back from going 0 for 6 and a half.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of those things matter, man. Yeah. And so, but in that moment, when I got to the point where I probably hit 5 in a row, now the focus changed from we can't lose this game to you got to stay focused.
Yeah.
Because people don't realize, I'm sure you can relate. When you get to that kind of zone, all it takes is for you to get lackadaisical for 1 minute. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And you're out of it.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
And I know this experience before, so the whole time I'm on the bench saying, forget everything, just stay focused.
Right.
Just stay focused. I don't care how many shots you hit. I don't care what this looks like. I don't care what the score is.
Right.
Stay focused. Stay here. Stay in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Commit to defense, rebound, focus on everything else. When you get the ball, then you good. But focus on stuff because I got to stay in this moment.
Right.
You know, and for me, it's also a culmination of life for me too, man. Because over the course of my life, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've done stupid stuff just like everybody else.
Right.
You know, but when you get to a space where things are happening for you in your life, you know what I'm saying? That's when you got to get focused, man. You got to get laser focused and stay right here. I got to do the next right thing. I got to focus on other people. I got to make sure I take care of others. It ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? Because this is our senior night. I ain't the only senior.
Yeah.
I got 4 other guys that are with me. You know what I'm saying? And I got a gym packed and full of folks. You know what I'm saying? That loved and supported me through, you know, the first years of my career there where I wasn't getting no clout.
Exactly.
And loving on me through the process. So this ain't about me. I'm the person that's orchestrating the show, but this ain't about me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And for God to honor my prayer and let me say thank you in that way, man, blows my mind.
That was big time, man. And I'm gonna be real. Watching the video after my editor finished it with it, man, it gave me chills. I'm sitting there like, hey, man, golly, because dude, everything you went through, and then they talk about the 0 for 6, and you coming back, bouncing back, and leading to a victory, and then, man, like the embrace at the end with your fam, dog. That was like, I know that feeling, man. Like that's different. You know what I mean? It wasn't about me. I did this for y'all. You know what I mean? Celebrate in this moment with me. You know what I mean? And I can only imagine if they had panned to them during the game, they would have been feeling. They would have been going bananas over there in the crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Crazy Sunday best.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So you get that, man, and you and get ready to go into the tournament. Talk about your experiences leading up to the draft.
So the tournament was an upset, you know, and there's a lot of reasons for it. You know what I'm saying? I won't go into all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To Siena in the first round, it was a crazy upset. We were a 4 seed. You know, everybody in the country expected us to lose the game. You know what I'm saying? And things just kind of transpired as they were, man. Going into the draft was an interesting process. It went from grinding, trying to get somewhere, to grinding, trying to prove certain skill sets. You know what I'm saying? Because there's 1,000,001 reporters out here, and you don't know which ones matter and which ones don't. And all critiques about your game. And so the critique against me was ball handling and using ball screens. You know what I'm saying? And me being somebody who transitioned from center to being guard, still to this day, I've still not gotten 100% comfortable using ball screens. I don't see it don't develop for me the same way it do for people that's been doing it their whole life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So going into that summer before the draft, I put in more. I had the same work ethic, was put in the same amount of hours, but it was so heavy on ball screens and ball handling and all that kind of stuff. And I got to a point, man, where I told my agent, I was like, yo, I feel like I'm not as confident in what I do well because I've been overcompensating trying to get this ball handling right. You know?
Exactly.
And so going into that summer, I had some workouts that I played great.
Right.
4 workouts where I was just a normal guy there. You know what I'm saying? Worse than anybody else, but I didn't stand out the way that I could.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had a few bad workouts. And I attribute it to me not fully being confident and comfortable in my game because I was overcompensating in some areas. And I think that had a lot to do with where I fell in the draft.
Right.
You know, especially considering I finished out that senior year, like you talked about, man. I had sustained a high level of play, shooting 50% from the 3-point line. I was a shooting guard in the country for the entire season.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't lose that spot until the tournament because we lost in the first round. I lost it video, so I finished out number 2. You know what I'm saying? But I was the number 1 shooting guard in the country.
Right.
And then go draft. You know what I'm saying? And it's a completely different process.
Yeah.
Because if you get invited and you're going to Orlando You know what I'm saying? You got all these other pre-draft workouts, scouts come and watch you work out and all that kind of stuff. It's one thing to be working out and grinding on your own. It's another thing to be working out in front of people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's more of a show.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly what it is.
Wait.
Yep.
And so there's a different level of pressure associated with it. And going into the actual draft, man, I didn't feel like I messed up my draft status. I just didn't feel like I showed all that I was capable of doing.
Right. Totally understand that. And guess what? Coming into that, man, I felt the same exact way about my draft experiences. That's the crazy thing. So I know exactly what you're talking about. But you ended up getting drafted. You ended up getting drafted second round, and talk about that feeling though, man. Like, you know what I mean? You were able to hear your name called. And that's, you know what I mean? That's a lot more than people wanted. That people that have grinded, you know what I mean? And in a sense, that's a pat on the back. You know what I mean? Talk about that, being able to hear your name called in the draft.
Man, there's nothing like it. You know, to have a dream at 5 years old and to work towards that dream for that amount of time, to know the 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning workouts you put in, the grind in the weight room, the conditioning, the sacrifice while everybody else out kicking at you in the gym, you know what I'm saying? And sitting in class and everything, all the sacrifices, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, you know what I'm saying? Everybody who's ever done anything for me.
Right.
And it was for me to accomplish this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So and there's a lot of pressure that comes with that too.
Yeah.
You know, because in that moment, you know, unless you're one of the top 15 picks, you have no clue.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Where are you gonna go if you gonna go?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's guys whose name was on that top 15 list who still didn't get drafted.
Stop that talk, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real life thing, man. And I think that your family, your friends, they don't understand that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand that their excitement turns into pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like it's one thing to go perform, but then this is not performing. This is somebody choosing.
Yeah.
You know? And the NBA draft is not based on the best players available.
Right.
It's based on somebody's interpretation of what's best for their team, which is very different from the best players available.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because from a best player available standpoint, even with how I performed in my workout, I was still supposed to go anywhere from 17 to 31.
You finished your career as a top 10 player in the country. Hands down. Yeah. No question.
Hands down. You know what I'm saying? So it was, but even still, man, to hear your name called and accomplish a dream, man, there's nothing like it. It's a stamp of approval that never wears off.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For the rest of my life, I get to say I'm an NBA draft pick.
Right.
You know, and there's only 60 names that are called a year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, out of the thousands that are eligible for the draft, there's only 60 people.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's a level of validation that you can't really pay for.
Right.
You know?
That's facts.
But it's the work that comes with that that allows you to be in the position for that to be possible in the first place. And it's about doing things the right way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be a guy that's out here disrespecting people, not, disrespecting folks at home, not taking care of business, because ultimately you are what you practice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're lackadaisical at home when it comes to your schoolwork or when your parents ask you to do stuff, then that's going to perfect to being lackadaisical in the court in some area.
Yep.
You might still be old, but you're probably going to be lackadaisical on the defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might have great athleticism, but you're not going to have the same work ethic.
Right.
You know, So at the end of the day, man, you are what you practice, man, and it's just a blessing to be able to accomplish that.
And that's facts, man. I appreciate you sharing that journey with us, man. What I want to ask you now, because we're gonna skip Shane's pro career, people, because we got something else in store. You know what I mean? I got something else lined up. Y'all just stay tuned. You know what I mean? And we're gonna get to that about his transition. But I want to know now. We see the shirt of men. You know what I mean? Give me a little bit about that and about what you're doing now. A Men Together is the shirt. You see the logo. Give me a little bit about now what you're doing. You know what I mean? And I know you're giving back to the community. You're back in Nashville. Talk about that a little bit before we get ready to sign off with about 2 more questions.
Man, so I want to transition that from NBA to here, and I'm gonna skip over my career. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that next time. Yep.
The comment that I want to make though is just that for me, accomplishing the goal of getting to the NBA was just that.
Mm-hmm.
My dream was not to be the best player in the NBA.
Right.
My dream was not to be an NBA All-Star and have a 20-year career. My dream was to get drafted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know that until it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized that God had something different planned for my life, that was a piece of the puzzle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was more about the journey than it was about reaching the top of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm doing now, man, is the most impactful, meaningful life work that I've ever done in my life.
Right.
A Men Together is a primary prevention initiative dedicated to ending violence against women and girls by engaging men and boys to change this culture that supports violence.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I've done, you talked about my journey.
Right.
Every single aspect of my life led me to be able to do this right here.
Mm-hmm.
And to have those experiences, to be able to see life through a different lens, to be able to travel the entire world and interact with different cultures and different people,
right.
and just see things for what they were,
mm-hmm.
and have a level of intimacy with people to where I got a chance to truly see their relationships, their marriages, how they treated women, man.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was in the U.S. or it was in Europe, as a world, we treated women horribly.
Right.
There are some spaces where we've figured it out and got it right,
mm-hmm.
with a role model, and there's not enough honest conversation about us as men saying there's another way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But growing up as a kid, man, this whole idea of manhood and masculinity was, I was trying to be cool. I was trying to be like everybody else. Whoever the big dog was, they set the example for how I should live my life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the whole while, I'm doing stuff not because that's what I want to do, but because it's validation for somebody else.
Right.
And in the process, so many women and girls have had to be the brunt of that.
Right.
Have had to be the victim of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And as I traveled the world, I saw a lot of men who were in that same space where you don't want to be out here talking crazy, but there's some other man that's validating you when you do.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Especially when you start talking about the absence of father figures, particularly in minority communities.
Mm-hmm.
They're seeking validation, and whether we're seeking that validation and we get it from the hood, or we get it from a gang, or we get it from an athlete, or we get it from some other role model, where we get that validation in our lives determines our behavior going forward.
Without a doubt.
And the Men Together gives us a space and opportunity to interrupt that cycle so that men don't end up being deadbeat fathers, so that men don't end up being fathers, not fathers for their children,
mm-hmm.
don't end up being abusive
right.
in their don't end up being divorced because we don't know how to talk to them. We don't know how to express ourselves. We don't know how to be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Many of us spend a lot of our time doing, and we didn't spend any time learning how to be.
Right.
And so finish our careers, whether it's playing ball, being a doctor, being a lawyer, whatever the case may be, when you hang up those shoes
mm-hmm.
of you deem to be successful, and you gotta just be.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And women and girls are paying the price for that unnecessarily. You know what I'm saying? And like I started out saying, I got 6 siblings. I got 2 brothers and 4 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want my sisters being the victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, or rape, but I also don't want my brothers being perpetrators of that kind of violence.
Right.
So we're talking about that in the Nashville community as well as other places around the world.
That's facts, man. I appreciate you sharing that with us, man. And that's one thing we can see from your journey, man. You being faith-based early, you know what I mean? And we want to talk about that. If you could leave kids today with something before we get ready to sign off, I got 2 questions. Leave them with a gym, and you can think about that for a second. And second, most difficult place to play in the SEC for you. I know mine was, unfortunately, Florida. It was one game in my entire college career I went scoreless. That was at Florida my freshman year. I had a goose egg. I was 0 for 6. Goose egg on the clock. But that's one aspect. The second one is leave the kids with something they can take from this. You know what I mean? From your journey. If you can sum up everything, what would you leave the kids with? And then also answer the other question, what was your hardest place to play in the SEC?
Gotcha. So I'll start with the SEC, and I'll leave you with some parting words, man. The hardest place to play for me was Florida as well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't Florida.
Yeah.
Never won at Florida.
Really?
And lost by 20 most of the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It was, I don't care who it was. I mean, to my defense, we went up against Matt Walsh and David Lee and you know what I'm saying? Anthony Rose, my freshman year. My sophomore and junior year, they won the national championship with back-to-back years.
Mm-hmm.
And then my senior year, they were good. They weren't great, but that gym just didn't let me live. I think we lost by 10 that last year, but they just wouldn't let me live in Florida, man.
And so the swamp was the most difficult place to play without question. Me and Shane. So
without
people,
question,
you got it.
I didn't get on the hump, man.
Y'all got it. Y'all heard it here. You know what I mean? So
I was gator bait.
yeah, gator bait. That's most definitely. All right, man. Now leave us the parents and the kids. Most definitely the kids. Leave them with a gym, man. Before you leave out and sum it up for us.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna leave you guys with 2 things. Number 1 is it's not about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is because you got to keep in mind that life continues when you're gone.
Right.
And the opportunities that you get have to be taken care of with care because it's going to determine where the next generation starts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't give your all, if you don't take care of this process, then somebody else has got to start where you fell off.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying? You got to take care of the process. You got to learn all you can get. And it's not about enjoying childhood.
Right.
I know a lot of people who enjoy their childhood but can't enjoy being an adult.
Right.
You spend 20 years being a kid. If you live, my grandfather you might have saw me posted this on Facebook. My grandfather just turned 90 years old a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
He's 70 years being an adult. You spent 20 years being a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You want to enjoy it for 70 years.
Yeah.
And what you do when you're a kid matters.
Right.
So all of this, the kids got to have a life. They got to go on vacation. I would much rather vacation from 20 to 70 than to be vacation from 0 to 20.
Without a doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you. It's got to be about something much greater than you in order for it to be impactful. And the last thing I'll say is this. and you know me, man, I'm a faith-based guy, man.
Without a doubt.
The Bible says to seek ye first the kingdom and all of his righteousness, and all other things will be added unto you.
Right.
Seek first the kingdom. That don't mean you gotta get it right all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But constantly I'm seeking righteousness. I'm just trying to be right. I'm just trying to get it right. If I screw up, I'm going to acknowledge it. I'm sorry, but I'm trying my best to be right. We can. This idea that only God can judge me is a lie from hell.
Right.
All the stuff that we trying to get a Lambo, we trying to get to the league, we trying to, drive a helicopter. We try all the stuff we want to build a business. We want to all of this stuff. You'll get there if you seek righteousness.
Right.
It's not perfection. It's about giving your heart and your all to trying to do what's right. I've not gotten it right 100% of the time, but you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who's straight up saying, well, Shay just did me wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I believe beyond any shadow of a doubt that all the things that I've accomplished thus far and that I will accomplish, because my story ain't over. I got some stuff brewing.
Yeah.
But everything that I will accomplish has more to do with how I've treated people than it has to do with me being great. Shan Foster is just like, I'm no different than everybody else on this chat.
Right.
But my work ethic and my ability and genuine heart to treat people right is what has allowed me to succeed.
That's big time, man. I appreciate that, man. Listen, Shane, my brother. Hey, man, they don't even know about the dog eat yells, you know what I mean? And we went through overseas. That's a whole different conversation, though. We'll talk about that another time, man. I really, really, really love and respect your journey, man. Appreciate the love as always. How can we get in touch with a men? How can we reach a men together? What can we do?
Follow us on every social media channel. mentogether.org is our website. Men_together on all of the social media stuff, man. You can also just follow me directly, Shan Foster 32. You know what I'm saying? Reach out, hit us up, man. We'd be happy to partner with you and get some work done.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you being an open book. I appreciate you sharing your journey. Appreciate the obstacles. Appreciate all of that, man. And we're going to do future things together, man. But most definitely, it's a salute, my brother. And I got to run up on you so I can get you the Boom Boom Room t-shirts to be in this week. I'm pulling up on you, and I'm dropping one off to you, baby.
All right, man. You know I support everything you do, man. Love you, my brother.
I already love you too, man. Gone. Hey, man, listen, people. That was my guy, Shan Foster. You know what I mean? Came in, shared his journey. Much love and respect to Shane for that. Man, I hope you got something out of it. You know what I mean? That was a guy from the Mississippi roots. Went to the boot, made it up out the boot, made it to Nashville, and doing great things, man. So let me go on and wrap this up because we went a little bit over. But at the same time, when it's organic and it's flowing the way it's flowing, I can't stop it. I can't stop it because y'all need to hear the journey. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to hear the journey. So here we go. Let me go on and give you my guy. Give, guide and inspire, vibrating energy, man. You know what it is, man. We done did the same thing week to week. 1308_forever on Instagram. Get at my guy for your juices, your smoothies, meal replacements, whatever it may be, man. He got you locked and loaded. Get at him, man. The juices. We're going to have the juice. I'm going to be on here next week. The week after next, drinking a juice. How about that? I'm going to drink a juice. Y'all get at my guy, 1308_forever on Instagram. My guy, Dokes, man. He's going to give you everything you're looking for and everything you need, man. Make sure you get at him. Also, go to YouTube and search Ron Slay. Click on the link, subscribe, tell a friend, do all that. And this is the page. This is what you got to look for, people. You can see the interviews, the past interviews you missed. If you missed the live, you got Shamika Holtzclaw, Ramon Foster, John Anderson, Ashley Robinson. Man, the list goes on, and we got future people to come. You know what I mean? So it's going to be good, man. This is going to be good. You get in the Boom Room, unfiltered stories about people and their growth and how they came through it, the obstacles they went through, how they grinded through it, I promise you, I can guarantee you, none of this happened overnight. You got it? Do you got it? None of this happened overnight. I'm giving you what's real. You know what I'm saying? So we got what we got coming in the forefront is boom, a sleigh ride, the journey of a legend, man. I know a lot of people out there like, hey man, Slay, when we gonna get to hear your story? When we gonna get to hear it? It's coming. It's gonna be in a hard book copy and it's gonna be an audio book. You know what I mean? So you'll get to hear that. But at the same time, I'm gonna get somebody on here to interview me, and I'm gonna give y'all my story. It's probably gonna have to be in 2 or 3 parts though, man, because it's deep and it's long. You know what I mean? Like similar to Shane's. You know what I mean? Like it's just run over, and if it happens organically, it happens that way. But looking forward. I know y'all like, man, we're gonna get some more women on the show, this, that, and the other. I'm gonna get them. Alicia Clark with the Seattle Storm. They're in the Wubble right now, handling their business. Crystal Dangerfield. They're in the Wubble, handling their business. I'm gonna get my girl Shira Eli on this thing. Hopefully get Tamika Catches. We're gonna get her next season. You know what I mean? She's in the upper echelon right now. You know what I mean? So it's hard to get a hold of her. But I'm gonna run up on her. And you know what I mean? I'm gonna get in that thing. And Monica Abbott, don't forget about Monica Abbott. We're gonna have Monica Abbott coming up soon. We got some people in the hostess, people. You know what I mean? We got some bullets in the gun. You know what I mean? I just ain't unloaded them yet. So stay tuned, man. I appreciate everybody supporting the Boom Boom Room. Just did an interview with Chris Lofton. So you hear the vice versa story of what Shane just told you. Gotta get Money Mont. Gotta get Jamont Gordon on. We're gonna get Fridge on. Man, we got a lot of people coming up, man. The Boom Boom Room ain't gonna stop, man. It's unfiltered. T-shirts are in. They'll be here delivered tomorrow. So hit me in the DM. Hit me on whatever you gotta hit me on. I'm gonna get it to you. $35 a pop. It is what it is. Everything $35. You wonder why it's $35? gotta be a fool to not recognize why it ain't $35. But let me leave y'all with this though. While we had a Commodore on now, it's a Commodore on now. You hear me? That's petty. That was the petty in me. I ain't mean that. That was the petty in me. But I'm just saying. You know what I mean? It's all love, man. Salute to Shan Foster, man. Appreciate him coming through, sharing his journey. This is the Boom Boom Room, people. We over and out.